A few disclaimers. If you hear a weird drumming noise, my kids are playing Beyblades downstairs because apparently it's more important than homeschooling. Not to mention my littlest one is watching a Christmas Mickey Mouse film as well. So it's all going on downstairs, so if you hear anything, that's just them. I actually recorded and filmed a whole video yesterday in order to put up for tomorrow, all about my minimalist hobbies, things that I do that steer me away from consumerism, and they're all things I'm super passionate about and would like to talk to you about in the future. But there's a point, and I don't know if many of you know this, if any of you make videos or make pieces of work or make content and you find yourself in a place where it doesn't feel natural or normal, and it also feels quite strained. And I think yesterday I was retaking multiple times. It just didn't feel right, and I wasn't happy with what I filmed. A lot of it was also filmed in vertical, not horizontal, which meant that it wouldn't view well on YouTube either. So that was a whole ordeal and a big waste of 2 hours, but it got me thinking about whether or not I really actually want to post this week. But I do. I want to be honest and I want to be candid, and I just want to talk through a few things that have been going on that have meant that my creativity and my energy levels are a little bit on the low side at the moment. As some of you know, from mid-April, Kev actually went back to work. It ended up being quite busy there, so it meant that he was at work for around 6 days a week. He did 1 week, I think, where it was 7 days, so I didn't see him for almost 2 weeks. And when you go from having somebody around with you all the time and you share the load, you share the homeschooling, you share the housework, you share experiences together, you go out together. I don't drive, I know I've mentioned that a couple of times, and we aren't in an area where there's a lot to do. We're in an area where you have to drive to get somewhere. Other than being able to walk around and experience nature, there's not much to do around here. So me and the kids do end up getting a little bit of cabin fever. I wouldn't say I experience this a whole lot. I am a bit of a homebody. I love being at home. I am lucky enough to have been given a little patch in the garden, so I can garden as well this year, and I have lots of different projects on the go and lots of things, including YouTube, to keep me sane and keep my creativity flowing and also keep my mental health balanced. But losing him for the majority of the week was quite a transition. It also meant that my YouTube videos had to be a lot more structured. I had to know what I wanted to do. I had to make sure I worked a certain way, and that sometimes actually stunts me as a creator because I like to go with the flow of the week. I like to do things quite spontaneously. I am a passionate person about multiple different things, but I also like to find them out and share them because I'm so intensely fired up about it. So it's taken a toll, and to really cram in quite a bit in those 2 days that he's around, all mundane, boring stuff like food shopping, talking about things, going through bills, monitoring our spending, things like that, all like obviously really boring stuff and things that need to get done in most households. And so creating videos on top of that can be a little bit difficult. So that is why you are seeing this video today rather than the one I tried to put together yesterday. Ozzy, what's wrong? As you will know, we are also living with my parents. That in itself isn't particularly a stressful situation. We've kind of found our groove. It's working really well. However, obviously we don't want to stay here forever, so we do have to start thinking about our future and our plans. And if any of you know us, we are actually looking to have more of a natural off-grid lifestyle. We are looking at land potentially in the UK at the moment and trying to put together some sort of plan of what we want to do, what we want out of it, and what we both like our end goal to look like. Now, buying land probably isn't the easiest thing we could have chosen to do. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, if any of you are experts on buying land, if any of you are experts on planning permission and off-grid lifestyle and temporary structures and all that kind of jazz, then please help me and give me some advice. But it is not easy. So this week, the majority of the last couple of days that Kev has been here, it's been pretty stressful, and we are trying to come up with some sort of plan that works, that doesn't involve all of this blah. Obviously, when we look at off-grid lifestyles, van life, alternative living, it looks romantic and beautiful, and nobody obviously realises the hard work that those people have put into it. And I don't think any of us really realise how much money people put into that sort of thing either. And it's that hard-hitting realisation that you can't have exactly what you want, or if you do go for what you want, it's painful, it's difficult, it comes with so many barriers, so many rules, regulations, issues. There's not much land in the UK as it is. We are a very small country with a lot of people in it, so it's very difficult. It's whether we take ourselves away from this country and live somewhere else, but then that comes with visas, complications, residency, and all that kind of stuff. So what I'm trying to say is that as wonderful as that lifestyle looks, and as much as I would love to challenge myself to be able to do it and live that way and build my own furniture and cut my own logs for my wood burning oven, and it's unfortunately not that simple. So I just wanted to jump on here really and tell you this because I feel like it's a really important thing to document. These people that do this thing never include this part, I don't think. I rarely see it. I rarely know the numbers, the processes, the paperwork. Obviously a lot of that is private. Obviously a lot of people just do it quickly and then realise they could make a channel out of their lifestyle. It comes after usually, but I rarely see people do this behind the scenes looking at how to obtain that life. And we're struggling to find information, we're struggling to find people that have done it where they've bought their own land. We're looking at living in a yurt. We're not particularly DIY people either. We have no clue how to make most things. I would rarely ever trust Kev with a hammer, nor a drill, and whenever he's tried to paint a wall, it's gone horrifically wrong. I mean, who tries to paint a bathroom with glossy wood paint? My husband. So we are complete newbies. We have no idea. I know how to garden. I know how to look after the land. I've learned a lot about it, but I'm not a professional. I really don't know exactly until I get to this amazing oasis that I'm working towards. But I know I could get by on the garden side of things, but house building, plumbing, electrics, solar, it's incredibly overwhelming, and I feel like there's not enough information to even begin thinking about all of those things because I can't work out how to put a yurt on some land, live in it full time and be really happy. Obviously we realise that we have to be extremely flexible, and there are definitely things and obstacles we are extremely aware that we will face. It's just so hard. I think we've just hit a bit of a brick wall with it. Everything we seem to be looking at has very difficult avenues. We have to think of business plans to be able to live on agricultural land. We have to be accepted into the crofting world if we wanted to be crofters, or we'd have to think about language and schooling if we wanted to live in a different country. We'd have to think about visas if we wanted to live even further afield. And I appreciate and expect that there are going to be these government boxes, walls, rules, regulations. Otherwise everybody would be living in Bali, sunning it up and not working for the rest of their lives. So I hope you appreciate me being extremely candid today and honest, and I want to just tell you I've hit a brick wall. It's also difficult because we can't move around very easily. A lot of the countries I would like to go and look at are still very red countries, and they are having difficulties with COVID still. So we have to be extremely safe and make sure we don't put ourselves at any risk just so that we can go and look at somewhere to live. But living in the UK and trying to buy land, they do not make it easy. It's rare I find a story or a person that has done exactly what we want to do, the exact way we want to do it. They are often given land by their friends or family and they live off of it, which makes planning permission and residency not an issue. Or they live in a temporary structure in hopes of building a house further down the line. There's nobody that wants to live in a temporary structure full time off the land that they have bought themselves. If anybody does know of any channels or information, documents, blogs, anything to do with what we're looking at, please link them down below because I would love any opinions, advice, options. That would be amazing. But that is where we're at. Kev's working extremely hard at the moment. We barely see each other. So when we do get to this part of trying to dig around for what we really want and actually looking further out to somewhere where we could actually potentially live, it's very short-lived because then he's back to work again, and it's been extremely stressful on that part. There's also the whole world that we could choose from, so it's extremely overwhelming to be able to pinpoint exactly where we want to go and what we want to do. We are trying to stay very flexible and fluid. It could be an old barn house in Portugal, it could be a wood cabin in Canada. I just want land, and I want freedom, and I want to be debt free. And I'm realizing I'm sounding like this is probably not going to happen because everything I'm asking for is just hard. But we know this is just a stumbling block. We know this is only going to make our plans stronger, and it's going to make us rethink and relook at things, toss away things that aren't going to do us any favours, and try and be drawn towards more of the things that will actually strengthen our eventual dream off-grid lifestyle plan. I really hope you appreciate the video today and understand that it's not going to be a bells and whistles video. It's not going to be like us frolicking in a field, being merry. It's just more of a catch up. I want you to see where our headspace is at. I want you to know the corners we have to turn and the difficulties we have to face, because it isn't easy, and I'm not even sure we really expected it either. And I don't know if that's just us being naive to it all, or as I said, you get this romantic notion that you can just live off of your land and do whatever you want, but unfortunately you can't. And I appreciate the rules and the regulations, but I'm just not one of those people that enjoys rules or regulations. So yeah, I really hope that you guys enjoy this video or get something out of it, or at least see that there isn't a pretty side to our life sometimes. It's not always easy. We fight. We don't want to face things sometimes that we unfortunately have to. We've had some bad news this week. It's all kind of rolling into one. If anybody else is having a bad week, please like raise your hand or put like a little thumb up emoji or something. Like, I feel you, sister. I feel you. It's been a weird week. It's been a really weird, intense, difficult, strange week. I don't like it. I just want to get back on track with things. I want my creativity to come back. I feel like I experienced a bit of burnout last week as well. I'm just trying to balance all these plates, all these things I like to do and need to do to keep sane, and things that will also help me in my career long term, my goals, my interests, my hobbies, everything. As I was saying, this is just a really raw and honest part of our life that I have always wanted to show and I've always wanted to share. So it helps me retrospectively look in to what was going on at the time, and hopefully I'll look back at this and I'll be sunning it up in Bali. But yeah, thank you so much for sticking with me, guys. I really hope some of you have had a better week, but that is the end of the video today. And I know me and Kev will get through this road bumps, and I know we'll be looking back at this after a very long time and probably laugh and smile at how far we've come. But for now, thank you very much. Love you all. Have a brilliant weekend. Please stay safe, and thank you. Bye. Really? That'll do, donkey. That'll do.